Welcome back to Killing It in the Kitchen with Tina. Today's video, I'll be showing you a step-by-step tutorial on my version of smothered pork chop. Just as a reminder, the recipe and the cooking instructions will be in the description box below. I've already brined my pork last night. To begin, I'm going to remove the chops from its brine and place them onto a tray lined with a towel. Traditionally, brined meats are placed on a rack to allow brine to drip off of the exterior of the meat. With what we're cooking today, it's best if the pork chop is as dry as possible. Remember to clean as you go. It's more pleasant to cook if your kitchen stays clean. Now let's start those potatoes. For the potatoes today, we're using red potatoes and a few russets. We're going to peel the russet potatoes and make sure you rinse them off. Now that that's done, we're going to cut the russet potatoes into quarters and the red potatoes in half. Place them all into one pot and fill it up with water. Leave it on a back burner, covered on high. And now we'll move on to the breading. We have all-purpose flour, garlic powder, black pepper, and salt. Just getting some tea water ready for when we need it. Forgot to add my paprika. It's been about 30 minutes since we strained the brine from the pork chops. As you can see here, I'm still dabbing off the excess liquid and then placing it into our seasoned flour. Preheat your skillet and with just enough oil. Once the pan is nice and hot, then carefully place the chops into the oil. Repeat the process until you've done all the pork chops. Place them into a hotel pan once they're done. Do not overcrowd. We begin our onion sauce by cutting our onions into julienne. Afterwards, place those onions into the same pan you cooked the pork chops. This will help deglaze the pan and pick up all the flavors from the bottom. If you want your onions to be nice and caramelized, please take your time in this process. Don't forget to add some thyme, chopped garlic, black pepper, and salt. After cooking it for about 15 to 20 minutes, the onions are finally finished. I'm going to scatter them across the top of the pork chops. Meanwhile, I'm stirring up some milk and vinegar in replace for buttermilk. We got some garlic butter working over here for our mashed potatoes. Keep a close eye because milk has a tendency to overflow or burn, and it sucks to clean milk that's overboiled. So I cooked these potatoes on about medium heat for about 20 minutes and left them covered with no fire. Strain the potatoes in a colander, then mash them dry if you can. Then add the hot liquid to your potatoes and mash them till they're smooth, or mash them to how you like them. Now in the same pan you cooked your onions and your pork chops, add some butter, allow it to melt all the way, and then add some flour to make a roux. I didn't think I had enough, so I added more butter and flour in that order. When making a roux, you have to make sure you let the flour cook for a little bit. Otherwise, your food will taste like raw flour. I did this part off camera, but all I did was add the chicken consomme and hot water together to make chicken broth, and added it to my hot roux. Whisk until it's completely combined and starting to thicken up. Now take that ghetto buttermilk you made earlier and pour that in slowly and whisking at the same time. Continue to whisk until everything is fully combined. Once everything is fully combined, leave the fire at about medium-high and let it simmer for a little bit. Don't forget to whisk it around every few minutes. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to pour it over our pork chops. Try to get all the pork chops into the sauce as much as you can. We're going to place this on the stove and turn it on and let the meat cook into the sauce a little bit. And now it's time to plate the food. A wise person once told me, the more effort and love you put into your food, the better it will taste. Get ready for a big bite.